In the warehouses of modern retail giants, autonomous algorithms dictate the flow of the global supply chain. These systems manage millions of moving parts without human intervention. In 1962, Soviet engineers blueprinted this exact vision, a unified, paperless, algorithm-driven economy designed to manage an entire empire. This was OGAS, a multi-billion ruble network intended to serve as the state's ultimate digital brain. Performing a forensic autopsy on this system highlights the structural frictions that persist in the technology we rely on today. At the height of the Cold War, the Kremlin projected an image of absolute monolithic control. Beneath that image, the state was drowning in paperwork. Projections showed that the manual labor required to manage a command economy would soon require every citizen to become a bureaucrat just to process the daily logistics. While the American ARPANET succeeded through a collaborative model using open, state-funded protocols, the USSR possessed the budget and the mathematical expertise to build a superior network. Yet the state actively fractured its own infrastructure. The failure originated in a structural paradox that would cripple the network long before the hardware was even built. Under the leadership of Nikita Khrushchev, the first cybernetic proposals promised a national technological savior. In 1959, Colonel Anatoly Kitov drafted a classified blueprint known as the Red Book. Kitov's solution utilized existing resources. Civilian planners would tap into the idle processing power of military mainframes, networking the entire industrial base through shared nodes. The military hierarchy viewed this transparency as a threat to their classification monopolies. They intercepted the proposal, court-martialed Kitov, and stripped him of his career. In this environment, information is power. To share a network protocol was to surrender a monopoly. Visionary engineer Viktor Glushkov attempted to bypass this resistance with OGAS. His plan featured paperless digital currency and real-time continental logistics tracking. The state's response was the Riyadh Project, a multi-billion ruble effort to clone American IBM mainframe architectures as a national standard. However, individual ministries chose to protect their own interests. They intentionally manufactured their magnetic tape drives with incompatible widths. Because the tapes physically would not fit into rival machines, the databases were mechanically locked from communicating with any other department. These ministries sabotaged the hardware to build private data silos, ensuring that no central authority could audit their internal operations. When physical sabotage wasn't enough, the bureaucracy used ridicule. The Minister of Finance derailed a critical funding meeting with an absurd presentation about music-playing chicken coops, reducing the national network debate to a joke. Even if the network had been physically linked, it relied on data provided by factory managers who were terrified of missing their quotas. To survive, these managers fed falsified production numbers into their terminals. The central algorithmic brain was left performing perfect calculations on entirely fabricated data. The multi-billion ruble system had become a flawless engine for optimizing a fictional economy. Viktor Glushkov spent his final years writing children's books about computer networks, broken by decades of bureaucratic friction. He realized that his generation was too committed to institutional self-interest to ever accept a system of absolute transparency. The project was physically abandoned, leaving its schematics and rusting mainframes to decay in cold, forgotten storage facilities. An automated system cannot survive in an environment built on human distrust and protective silos. The legacy of this failure is visible in the behavior of modern Silicon Valley monopolies. Modern tech giants frequently build incompatible proprietary ecosystems and resist data interoperability to protect their market share. This replicates the same institutional hoarding that paralyzed OGAS, where individual ministries viewed a shared protocol as an existential threat. The structural blindness that ended the Soviet internet has found a permanent home in the modern corporate boardroom.